now that more stuff is coming out on the Epstein stuff and how that whole criminal enterprise handles things, it's all of the crap that I went through with the Net Ward, Deb Hume at Mizzou affiliated and spearheaded Central Missouri Stop Human Trafficking Coalition, which is supposed to help any victims of any type of violence, not necessarily human trafficking, in any type of abuse, and the way STEPS handled it. It's clear to me that these organizations were created to bait us as victims, and then they handle us for Epstein's partners in crime in the government. And remember, Nanette Ward, her husband is Craig Ward, who works at Missouri Department of Health and Human Services. And I guess in Vital Records, he's the chief administrator. His fucking signature's on my goddamn birth certificate. That's fucking creepy. That one of my lynch mob murderers, his name is on he's the one who signed, because in order to get an ID, you have to have a birth certificate with the actual seal, with the raised lettering, not a microfiche. His signature's on my fucking birth certificate. That's why that right there is representative of how corrupt the whole fucking system is. These domestic violence and trafficking, or you can call and that's what the whole human trafficking hotline is about. You call the hotline and they refer you to one of their local people who handles you, because even though Epstein himself didn't put his hands on me, his partners in crime certainly did. Maybe not his immediate inner circle that he hung out with, but again, this is a big, huge criminal enterprise. It's so big, it doesn't mean they've all necessarily met each other. He has his inner circle of cronies, then those cronies have another inner circle of cronies, and then they have their inner circle of cronies, and it's just like the mafia. You make your bones, and the more violence you're willing to perpetrate on their behalf, which may be nothing more than falsifying a record by a freaking social worker, or a social worker including victims advocates, and whether it's FBI, police, or whatever, you're willing to falsify records that importune someone's death. That's the new mob now. You don't have to go out and take a ball back to somebody's knees. You don't have to beat the hell out of somebody. It's all the power of the pen. The pen has always had more power than any physical weapon, any gun, any sword, any knife, anything. And like Ida B. Wells said, those committing the murders are writing the reports. And that isn't just police officers. It goes to all their agents that handle evidence that's used by the prosecutors. I don't remember who I was watching yesterday that said that Epstein's inner circle of enablers was prosecutors and law enforcement. I'll have to go back to my YouTube and look at my history and see which video that was. So I'm glad this is all getting out. So Nanette Ward was never there to help anybody. Oh, did she make token efforts? Yeah, she used her connections she used to work at Columbia Housing Authority and made sure I got on Section 8. And actually, I didn't start off on Section 8. My original housing voucher was an emergency voucher as a domestic violence victim because my safety was in jeopardy. And I recorded that whole conversation with, what was her name? My housing rep was, I have to go to my emails and look at her name. But Chad Cronin was definitely mentioned. I mentioned the domestic violence by Chad Cronin. and me turning Nate Irvin into the police. He was at the time a candidate running against Vicky Hartzler. And I still have the email where Nanette, I recorded the conversation. Nanette took me into the police department, and Officer Gustafson, a female, took the report. And eventually, Nanette sent me a link. Just so you know, that was all. She wanted to show me that my effort to go into the police department did result in something. And it showed where he'd got arrested on something. Now they've popped him for a bunch of child porn and other shit. So this candidate, Nate Irvin, I got him talking about how he was transporting methamphetamine in his vehicle. Turns out he was also, and this is a Democrat. So these police use me as a detective and then take all the credit, which it isn't about recognition. But so the human trafficking, what I'm saying is the exploitation isn't just of models. They exploit anybody and everybody. They steal intellectual property. It's just, they re-traffic us as trafficking victims. The healthcare fraud was a huge re-raping of the trafficking victims. Laura McHugh